sometimes I'll teach with a theme, like a body part we're focusing on or something. I don't have a specific area today, but my theme is just kind of movement in general, and especially kind of like large out there sort of movements. Will be especially the arms and the legs, just really creating it almost like a reach.
Modern dance.
Yeah, modern dance yoga style. So, and the reason for that is I was stuck. I've been doing a training this past weekend, and I don't sit for long periods of time, and my body just doesn't like it. And then I woke up, I was feeling just terrible. So we've got to move. Yeah. All right. So at first, just sit any way that you're comfortable. Maybe give yourself a little bit of wobble just from the get-go. And then as the wobbling starts to settle down, just find yourself here right in the middle and let your face relax. And think about here in the right at the forehead, from the top of the forehead down to the skin of the eyelids. Just let all of that part of the face relax. Take a breath. For the next few breath cycles, notice something about your breath. It might be the movement, the rise and fall of your body. You might hear a sound. You might sense the air at the end of your nose. Pick one thing that is significant for you for the next 3 breaths. Try to stay present with that one thing. Ready? So let that go. Allow your head to bow down, your eyes to blink open. And we'll bring the head just back to center here. And let's start with some movement in the torso. Some circles around. And you choose how big or how fast to make the circles. If you would like, here you can let the shoulders become a little more involved. Maybe the head. Let's take one more circle this way. And then we'll change and start to move the other direction. Yes. And then this one never feels good to just stop really abruptly. So start to make the circles smaller and smaller until you end up right in the middle. And then let's swap the way the legs are crossed. So you'll take the other one in front. And from here, bring the arms up overhead and let's interlace the fingers at the top. Press up through the palms of your hands. And just take a couple back and forth side bends. Yeah. And then we'll do similar here. Let's undo the arm clasp and just grasp, pick a side. Hold on to one forearm, pull up and over, and this time we'll stay. And then come to center and other side, up and over. And back to center. Release the arms. Take the fingers on the front of the shoulders here and just make some bat wings circles. Great. And then we'll let that one go. Yeah, you can go both ways if you want. All right, guys, so let's spend a little bit of time on your back. And you'll start here with the knees bent, the feet on the floor. And because it's June, I've been, a June bug. I have different varieties of June bug here. So for this first one, let's pick up the legs. Let them be just kind of relaxed on the arms in front of the chest, but also kind of relaxed. And just start to move your limbs around in random ways, like the June bug that got flipped over. And then let's pause your back where you started, with the legs up and the arms up. And now start to move the right arm and the right leg together. And anything is fine. So you could go back, forward and back, out to the side, one across, one to the side, right arm and right leg. Maybe draw the circles. You might start to feel this is, it's more like core work than arm work, but yeah, here we are. Let's pause in the middle, and then we'll swap to side two. So left arm, left leg. You choose the movement. I'll just throw possibilities out there. Across, side to side, forward, back. A little challenging is to take them both to the side at the same time. Circles. And then pause. Let's take a little break just for a sec. Hug the knees in towards you. And then back to starting position. We'll do two more patterns. Let's do right arm, left leg. Anything goes. And then just switch. So it's left arm, right leg. If you're anything like me, some patterns for me are easy, like certain limb combos are fine, and for me, this one I'm really struggling with. All right, and then pause, just give yourself a little squeeze. Let's keep the right leg in, stretch the left leg out just long on the floor, and give both ankles a few little circles. Doesn't have to be circles, just any kind of movement in the ankles. You can do point and flex, maybe wiggle the toes a little bit. Yeah, and then we'll pause here and change your hand hold. So now you're holding behind the right thigh, and try to keep the thighs still as you slowly bend and straighten the right knee. And especially if hamstrings are kind of tight, you may or may not go all the way straight. But try not to let the right thigh pull away from you. So keep it in place as the lower leg is moving. And then let's pause here with the leg, your version of straight. Hold the leg in place, and now just slowly with your foot, let's do point and flex. Back and forth a couple of times. Great, and this next one, stay there but relax the foot. This is another version of June bug. So you keep holding behind the thigh, breathe in, and then on the exhale, press the leg forward, round up, and come into kind of a seated hovering position. And then you'll come back. Yeah, see, that's why it's called June bug. You may or may not have the best of luck getting up and down. So take a couple of those, and if you are struggling, give yourself more momentum. Now that'll help. But if you're finding this easy and you want more challenge, do less momentum and see if you can not hold so hard with the arms. So it's more just in the low belly. Yeah. I ate dinner right before that. You did too.
Not a good idea.
Not a good idea. After these, we're done with the on your back stuff. All right, let's pause here next time you come down.
And then we bend the right knee and we'll twist, taking the right leg over to the left. Any distance is fine. Let's have the right arm out to the side, but be kind of soft through the elbow. And then you'll bring the arm down towards your right hip, and then out to the side and up towards your head. So making a half circle just back and forth. And think of reaching the elbow away from the side ribs. A little stretch there in the arm and the shoulder. Yeah. And this is meant to feel good. If it's hurting you, don't do it, really, for anything. Okay. And then we'll come back to center here. One last little squeeze. Just pull the knee in. And then we'll swap sides. So the right leg will go long. The left leg will come in. First, just hold in front of the shin there. And then let's move your ankles any which way. Oh, I heard some crackles in here. Yeah. Oh, that one was me. All right. And then let's pause here. Just relax your feet. And we'll hold the hands now behind the left thigh. Thigh bone stays in place. Let's slowly bend and straighten the leg. This one's tighter for me. And see if you can do that without moving at the thighs. It's just the lower leg. And we'll pause with the leg in the up position. And now hold the leg still and just move the ankle. Point and flex. Yeah. All right, James, are you ready? Okay, let the foot relax. Breathe in. Use the exhale to come up. Find that seated position and back down. Yeah, and then the first couple of them, you might give yourself a little extra momentum just to get a hang of it. And then once it's feeling easier, see if you can go slower with less of a grip on your hands. And that should give more challenge to the movement. He's glaring at me. All right, guys, let's do one more really good one. And then on the way down, we'll take our twist. So let the knee bend and take it over to the right side. You decide how far to go. Left arm is out to the side, slight bend in the elbow, and let's do our half circles. So down by your hip and up by your head. And as you're going along with that, try to reach the elbow away from the side body. And the reason I say elbow rather than hand, I think it gives you a little better stretch through the shoulder that way. All right, and then let's come back to center. One last little squeeze. And then we'll take the other leg in too. And this one's just kind of fun. See, try this. Bring the elbows to the knees. And then we're going to try to rock up to a seated position without losing contact between elbows and knees. And the legs, they can like kick a little bit. And if you're just saying, no way, Jose, forget about it, then meet me in all fours position. Oh. Yeah, I wasn't watching you guys. How'd it go? It was perfect. It was so smooth. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So let's head into our all fours position here. And kind of similar to when we started sitting, just give yourself a little bit of any kind of movement here. So that could be spine could take some circles. You could do a serpentine sort of figure 8 pattern. Any kind of movement. And let's pause, go back to child's pose just for a moment. Stay here, and without moving your hands, push the mat forward and bring the hips back, and it might feel good to add in a little wobble here from side to side. And then we'll pause. Let's come back up to our all fours and we'll do each limb separately. So bring the knees slightly closer together than you normally would go here. And then let's clear the shoulders, lift a little through the belly, lift the right leg, and now try not to let anything else change. Just move the right leg around. And that could be, back and forth, circles, out to the side, but try not to let the pelvis shift from side to side. Yeah. You might feel a little bit of weight shifting going on in the hands too as the right leg is moving along. And then we'll pause and go to the left leg. So the left leg lifts, and without letting the pelvis shift around, let the leg start to do anything interesting. Right, and then let's pause, put the knee down, take the knees so they're not quite so close together, but let's keep the hands this far apart, pick up the right hand, and go kind of slow with this one. Just let it move forward, back, side to side. Try not to let the shoulders shift or dip. And maybe the arm does a little kind of scoop underneath. Yeah, great. And then let's swap. Right hand comes down. Keep everything stable as the left arm lifts. Any movement is fine as long as the torso is stable here. Yeah, all right, and then reset. Let's go back to child's pose with the toes tucked under this time. Walk the knees back a little bit so that you're just a little more tucked in the feet. And without moving your hands, try to press the mat forward. Reach the heels back, reach the hips back. And then if you want to add a tiny little side-to-side wobble, you can. Let's pause here. Slide the hands just a little further forward. Press down into the floor and let's round the back, first coming through cat pose. Let the toes go back. The pelvis will come forward and the spine will unravel. We'll bend the elbows and lower down to the belly. Yes, once you're on the belly, keep the hands in place, lift slightly, and then one shoulder at a time we'll do a roll, and you'll a slither cobra, just a little side to side. Yeah. All right, guys, pause here. And just do a normal cobra coming through the middle. Let's go back to child's pose again with the toes tucked under. Now, depending on your body, today you might stay where you are. You might walk the hands back closer to the knees. You might come all the way up as I am sitting on the heels. I'll just see what you guys are doing, yeah. And then shift back a little bit more just because, why not? And then we'll do a little bit of a reach. Take the arms up overhead. Reach the right arm and the right side body a little longer, and then the left side. Yeah, and you'll see when you do this, you squash one foot, one side of the toes, and then the other foot. Yeah. Okay, and then enough is enough. Let's take the arms back down, untuck the toes, just give them a little shake out for a second. And we'll do that pattern here, coming through cat pose again. So round the back, and then keep coming until you unravel, elbows bend, we're down on the belly. This time we'll just take 3 regular cobras. You choose the height. So inhaling up and exhaling down. You could do 3 all the same. You could do 3 different kinds. Totally your choice. And then after you've done your 3, let's go back, tuck the toes under, but keep the hips a little bit lifted so you don't go all the way back. Yeah. And then we'll lift the knees up off the floor. Without going anywhere, press the mat forward, send the hips back, create life through the spine and through the torso. Yeah, James can go back even more, bend the knees more. Yeah, pull the hips back. Yes, all right, you guys. And then slowly, slowly let the legs start to lengthen, coming into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now, likely your legs are a little tight here. If you want to pedal out, you can bend and straighten the knees, let the hips shift from side to side. Maybe turn your head back and forth. And then to get out of this one, pause and separate your feet about as wide as your mat. Bend your knees and walk your hands to the feet and just prop up so the forearms are on the thighs. So we're in this sort of squat-like position. Move the pelvis back, move the chest forward. Create some more length through the torso. And on your next inhale, we'll come all the way up. Stretch the arms, stretch the legs. And release. Stay kind of wide in your stance. Bend the knees a little bit. And then this next movement, initiate from the shoulders and the shoulder blades. And just start to move your body in any and all directions. But let it be the shoulders and the shoulder blades that start the movement. Yeah. And the arms can move too, but let it begin from whatever the shoulder blades are doing. All right, awesome. Let's pause. Same idea, but now the pelvis is going to be the initiator. Let's keep the feet more or less in the same place, but if you need to like lift a heel or something, that's fine. So now the pelvis is starting you off. Exactly, you can do circles, you can do figure eights, you can do up and down. And how often do we move like this? Not very.
Not often.
Not often enough. Okay, and then pause. We're going to do one more. So now think about your feet and especially the ankles. So the ankles will move and then that'll travel up the rest of the body. So whatever that is, yeah, and it'll be weird. And it's okay if the toes or the heels lift a little bit. James said this was going to be just like modern dance, and then here we are. All right, guys, let the movement settle. Oh, I'll stay at the back of the mat, but reset so your feet are not quite so wide apart. And take the arms right in front of your chest with straight or straight-ish arms. Give the arms an extra reach forward and feel how the shoulder blades widen. And then pull the arms back and feel how the shoulder blades narrow. Do that a few times, forward and back, without letting the whole body move. So just the arms and the shoulder blades here. In a moment, we'll come do this on all fours position. So let's relax that, give the arms a little shake. On the next inhale, send them up. Exhale, we go down, forward fold. Come up halfway, lengthen out the spine. And then on your way down here, let's walk the hands forward, just going into plank. And once you arrive in plank, we'll lower the knees down, coming to your all fours position. Now, without bending your elbows here, let the chest sink towards the floor. Press into the floor and let the torso lift. So it's the same arm and shoulder blade movement that we were doing standing, but now we're weight bearing. Yes. And James, at the very end, I see your elbows. They want to bend. Don't let them. All right. And then let's pause. Go ahead now. Do bend the elbows. We'll come forward and down onto the belly. And from this position, let's scooch the legs back one at a time. Stretch the arms back and let's have the backs of the hands on the floor, palms face up. Lift the front of the shoulders and let the shoulder blades hug onto your back. And then lower that down. Do that a few times. So the front of the shoulders lift, shoulder blades squeeze into the back. And down. Let's do one more, and this time we'll hold. Go ahead, also lift the arms, lift the legs. And if it feels okay to add some tiny little arm circles, do. Still keep the palms facing the ceiling. And then change the direction of the circles. Great. Let's pause here. Then the elbows, hands right under the shoulders. Let's go back through child's pose. Toes tuck under, but keep the hips a little bit lifted. Lift your knees off the floor. Press the mat forward. Send the hips back. And then slowly, slowly start to re-lengthen your legs. And we'll head into our downward dog. Yes. And if you need to at all bend and straighten the knees or move around, take whatever you need here. Great. All right, friends, this time let's come forward. Bring your feet to the top of the mat. Let's just take a halfway lift, move the chest forward, and then slide the hands all the way up into the hip creases. Press the hip creases back, move the chest forward, widen the elbows, firm the belly, and then up we come with a flat back. Yes. Release the arms, stand where you are and just circle around. Hula hoop, asana. Good. And then go the other direction. Okay, so now we're going to catch butterfly. Yeah, and they're everywhere. So just start reaching, and you're not going to squash them. It's like they'll just land and then fly away. And they're all around you. So go to the sides. And some are like low flyers. So go down here. Yeah. Some are behind you. Oh, so many butterflies. Some are behind you at the top. Oh, and some are behind you at the bottom. Okay, and then the butterfly, they've migrated. So yeah, they're off. Right. And then just take a second, close your eyes, put one hand on the heart. You might feel the heart beating a little faster after moving the limbs around like that. Take a breath in and a breath out. All right, let's release the arm, let your eyes open. Be at the front of the mat if you're not already. And we'll take another round of this. Inhale up. Exhale, we'll go down, forward fold. Come up halfway, we lengthen. And then as we come down here, bring the hands to the floor. Let's go to plank just for a second. And then we'll take plank on the knees for this next round. Keep the knees further back than the hips. And just for a second, do a little shoulder roll to clear the shoulders and the neck. And then lift up through the lowest part of the belly. Those same little shoulder blade push-ups we did, we're going to do here. So let the chest sink, shoulder blades move together. Press into the floor, shoulder blades go apart, but don't bend the elbows. It's a very small amount of movement. And if you're finding it to be too much, just bring the knees a little bit forward. Yes. Yeah, Madeline, your elbows hyperextend. Mine do too. Keep a teeny bend in both elbows, just barely at all, but try not to bend it more than a teensy bit. Yeah, it's a lifetime. It's for me, I have, yeah.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just how they go. All right, and then let's everybody come down to the belly. Take a second. Yeah, just wiggle a little bit. And now for this one, let's make a little pillow for your forehead. Just rest, bend the knees, and give the legs a little side-to-side swish. Go back and forth. And when we do this, it's creating a slight amount of twist in the lower spine. So let's put the legs back down. Slide the hands a little forward, but also in slightly. So the elbows, they're not wider than the shoulders, but they're a little ahead of the shoulders. From here, let yourself just drop down for a second. Press into the floor, and then try to pull the mat back and pull the chest forward, engaging through the upper back. And stay like that, and also create a little tone through the low belly. And then let it go. Let's do that a few times. So pull the mat back, pull the chest forward, upper back is engaged, tone through the belly. And relax. And just one more time here. Pull and lift. Yes. You want to also lift the legs, you can, not high, just barely at all. All right, and then come down, make the pillow again for your forehead. Bend your knees, and this time just switch the legs around in circles. And other way. Great. Let's put the legs back down. Just head into downward facing dog. Go ahead and get there. Yeah. All right. Now within down dog, let's bring your feet a little closer together. And then you lift the right leg, and like we did in all fours, just move the right leg around in different ways. Go ahead and let the pelvis move here, but try not to let the shoulders twist and turn. It's just the leg and the pelvis. Anything is fine movement-wise. And then we'll reset, put the foot back down next to the other one. And then the left leg lifts, same thing. And then if this isn't working out, just do the knee down version again. And that's it. And then pause. Let's make the feet just regular down dog distance. And for this one, do bring the hands a little closer than you normally go in down dog, just closer to each other. And then pick up the right arm. Ha. Can you move the right arm around? For this one, try not to move the rest of the body, just the arm. Yeah, it's a lot of work on the left arm, isn't it? And then let's swap. We won't stay long. Other side. Okay, enough is enough. Let's meet in a forward fold. Any way you want to get there is fine. Root down through the legs. Inhale, we're up, arms to the sky. Exhale, release the arms. Great, just stay there, close your eyes for a second. Take a breath. Open up your eyes. And then if you have blocks, I'll recommend blocks, but no worries if you're at home. If you don't have them, that's fine. Just set them up at the front. Yeah, so let's be at the front of the mat in mountain pose. Feet can touch or you can have a little space, your choice. Inhale, arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, down we go, forward fold. Halfway up we come, lengthen. And then when you come down, let's bring the right leg back, lunge pose, hands on the floor or on the blocks. And pause here, and without moving your hands, try to pull the blocks towards the back of the mat and pull the chest towards the front of the mat, similar to what we did in those cobras. And then back off of that idea, do a few more of those. So pull back with the hands forward with the chest. And relax. And then one more time, find that. Let's turn the back heel down to the floor. Windmill the arms up to get to warrior two pose. Yeah, so we're gonna do a little variation warrior two. Turn the chest forward and the right arm forward. And then like you're doing the bow and arrow, you're gonna pull the right arm and the chest opens. That's it, do that a few times. Now pretend that it's a really heavy bow and it's hard to pull, so create a little resistance. Yeah. Great, great, great. Let's do two more. And then on this last one here, you'll hold the position, right elbow stays bent. See if you can keep the muscles around the right shoulder blade engaged, and then just send the right arm back like you normally would in warrior two. You can stay gaze forward over the left hand. Yeah. And Madeline, bring your back arm more towards the wall in front of you, just a little bit. This way. Yeah, just a little bit. Great. All right, friends, let's pause here. Put your hands on the top of the pelvis. And now just let the pelvis take a little tilt, going towards side angle, just back and forth with that. Yeah, and we want this tilt to happen from the pelvis, not from the spine. I'll show you how it looks like from the spine. It's more of a side bend, which we don't want here. Yeah, all right, so let's pause in the tilted state. Just let the right forearm come down to the, left forearm on the left thigh. That's it. Yeah. And then, now, can you turn your left leg out just a little bit more, your knees knocking in slightly to the other direction. Yeah, great. Yeah, now that's maybe a little too much. Yeah, good, good, good. All right, guys, let's stretch the right arm back, just back, straight back. And then let the chest and the arm both turn a little towards the floor. And then when it comes up, let the chest turn to the side. So the chest goes towards the floor, we'll go down and back. When you're back, chest will open. So the arm is making a little pendulum and the chest is rotating open to the side and then down towards the floor. Great. You can keep a little bend in the elbow if that's more comfortable for you. We'll pause this last one with the arm in the forward position. Chest spins away from the floor. Pretend you're shooting lasers out through the fingertips. Yeah, it makes it more exciting. And then let's look down to the floor. Arms release down. Back heel turns up. Take a couple rounds just to bend and straighten the front leg to release the pause. All right. Let's pause with the knee bent. Re-lengthen your spine. Turn the chest to the left. Open up for a twist. You can either lift the arm or put the hand to the hip. And then let's de-rotate, come back to center, move the blocks. And let's go to plank pose. Now in this second, we're gonna do the shoulder blade push-ups. If you need to put the knees down or go to all fours, do that. If you're good with straight legs, move the chest a little to the floor and then press and lift chest away from the floor. Do that a bunch of times. Don't bend the elbows. You guys are doing great. I know it's not fun. It's not, well, it's kind of fun. All right, let's pause. Put the knees down, come all the way to the belly. Oh, yeah. All right, friends, what are we gonna do for this one? Let's do this. Take the arms forward about shoulders width or maybe wider, and you'll probably come off the mat here. Press the hands lightly into the floor and try to pull them apart away from each other without actually going anywhere. And then try to pull the hands to the chest and the chest to the hands. You'll rise slightly in the upward part of the torso and the head. And then back off. Let's do that again. So hands, they press down lightly. They'll pull apart pretty strongly. And then try to pull towards you as the chest pulls forward. Yeah, stay like this. Maybe lift the legs, not high, just a little bit. And then down we go. Let's rest the forehead again. Just make a little pillow. Take a little wiggle side to side with the hips. Yeah. Okay. Let's head into downward facing dog. No funny business for this one. Just a normal down dog. And then from here, we'll head to the front of the mat, feet to the hands. Let's take our halfway lift. Slide hands to the hips, elbows wide, firm the belly, and hinge up from the center. Yeah, great. Okay, we've got a second side for that lunge warrior sequence. So let's be at the top of the mat. Find your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we're down, forward fold. Uttanasana. Come up halfway, we lengthen. And then down we go. Let's step the left leg back for a lunge. Hands on the blocks. I lost my blocks. Here they are. James, go one notch up on the blocks and move the blocks back so they're in the same line as your foot. That's it. And then for everybody, and now bring your blocks a little closer together. Yeah. Then for everybody, press down on the blocks or the floor. Try to pull them back as you pull the chest forward. Yeah. And then relax. Do that a couple of times. Pull the chest forward, pull the blocks back. And then lift your head a smidge, barely. Yes, yes, yes. And relax. One more time, find the length. Yeah. And then keep the length, but relax a little. Turn the back heel to the floor. And then up we come to warrior two. Take a little glance at the front knee and make sure the knee is pointing straight ahead. We don't want it to turn in. Sometimes it turns out, but more likely it turns in. And then from here, let's turn the chest forward and take the left arm forward to the front leg. And then you'll do your bow and arrow pull. Do that a few times and see if you can let the effort be right around the left shoulder blade in the back. Pretend it's really difficult to pull. Create some resistance. And then this last one will hold just for a second. Keep all of this engaged around the left shoulder blade, and then you'll send the arm straight towards the back of the mat. And here we are in Virabhadrasana 2. And then let's keep the knee bent. Relax the hands onto the hips, and move your pelvis. So find a tilt, and then untilt, back to center. And I'm just going to demonstrate how it looks when the pelvis is stuck and then the spine is doing the movement. So if that's happening to you, do less. So when the pelvis stops, that's when you'll stop. Now let's pause in the tilted state. Right forearm rests on the right side. Left arm will stretch back, and let the arm and the torso both go towards the floor. arm comes forward, chest rotates open. And then arm comes down and back, chest rotates. So it's like a little pendulum with the arm and a little rotation through the upper body. We're going to pause this last one when the arm is forward and create energy out through the arm, lasers. And the sound effects, if you want to say them, it really helps. You don't think so? Next, okay, another time we'll do a scientific experiment. We'll see. All right, let's come down, hand to the floor. Spin the back heel up, and then back and forth we go on the front leg. Let's pause with the knee bent, lengthen the spine, turn to the right for a twist. You can do anything you want with the arms. Yes, yogi. Okay, down comes the arm. Let's move the blocks. Back to, let's go plank, but then child's pose just for a second. I want to demonstrate the next thing. Yeah, so we're going to do kind of a strange plank variation. Let's pause, come back to all fours. Now, if plank in general is pretty challenging for you, instead of plank, you'll stay in your all fours. If you're good to go to plank, let's go ahead and get there. And then for everybody, move the right hand just a teensy bit forward of where it is. And if the leg is straight, left foot a little back. If the knee is down, the left knee a little back. Yes, it's a weirdo plank. Now, from the position, can you take a tiny little cat-cow movement in the spine? Good. And then pause. Let's reset. Just reset your limbs. We'll do the other side in a little bit. Come all the way down to the belly. Rest. Scooch the legs back one at a time. And then bend the right knee. Hold the foot or the ankle with the right hand. Send the knee towards the back of the mat, but your navel towards the front of the mat. You can flex the foot if you wish. All right, and then release, and we'll change. Side two, so you bend the left knee. Send the knee towards the back of the mat and the navel towards the front of the mat. Maybe flex the foot. Great, and then release, just take a little wiggle side to side. And then we've got to do our second side plank. So let's press up, just come down your all fours position. And then from there, tuck the toes under, lift the knees, plank pose. If you need to do it on the knees, that's fine. Left hand a little forward, right foot a little back. That's it. And then, Milo, can you move your whole chest just a teensy bit forward? Yeah, you don't have to move your arms, just pull the chest forward. Yes, good. And then for everybody, can you do a tiny little cat-cow in this position? It's very difficult, isn't it? Well done. Let's reset. Normal plank pose, knees down, child's pose. Stay here, flip your hands over, and just curl the fingers in and out to give the hands and the wrists a little break after that. All right. And then reset, just a quickie down dog. And from there, forward fold. From there, inhale all the way up, arms lift. Great. Release your arms. And just shake it out a little bit. Okay, so far so good. Yeah. So next we'll balance. If balance for you is no big deal, you want more challenge, you could stand on a block. That could up the ante. If you want to just take it easy, no block. We're going to do a little bit of stuff though within the balance pose. You can probably guess what it is. So stand on the left leg, pick up the right leg, and then instead of holding still, we're going to just move all the limbs, the arms and the leg. Your only job is to stay on the left leg. And then you'll freeze whatever position you're in right now, even if it's super weird. Same leg, we're going again. Freeze. Gotcha. And now from here, you can use your hands to help. We'll just go to normal tree pose. Anything you want with the arms is fine. Yeah, if you can't get all the way up, you could stay low or even toes on the floor is fine. All right, and then that's that, release. Not bad, Mr. Fancy Pants on the block. All right, let's do the other side. Yeah, no, it's cool. Flip your block over. These blocks are really soft and you'll just have a better starting surface. Yeah. All right, so side two, right leg is down, left leg is up. And then away we go. One side is likely more balance happy than the other. Freeze. I always stick out my tongue when I freeze. You can do that if you want. And then same side, go again. Freeze. Oh no. Okay, if you need your arms to help, that's fine. Head into your tree pose, Vrikshasana. Anything you want with the arms. Don't hold your breath, please. Okay, and then be done. Well done. If you're on the block, come off the block. Let's just stand. Release your limbs, close your eyes, take a breath. Okay, and then open up your eye. Great. All right. So far, so good. So let's come down to a seated position here with the legs out in front, knees bent. So I'll do a couple of things, but feel free to stop and repeat instead of moving on if you choose. So here we are, sit up nice and tall, like a very regal stance through the spine. Firm up through the core and just lift the right arm and let the right arm move around a little without other stuff. Yeah. And then down, left arm. Let it be the whole core that's creating the stability. And then down, it's a little weird, right leg. And yes, the hip flexor will be working. We'll stretch that out later. And pause and left leg. And pause. So if that's enough, you just keep doing that. You can change whatever limb you're working with. If you want to try all limbs together, you can lift, balance up here, and then just start to let them all move in different ways. Yeah, great. You guys are rocking. Now we're going to shift over onto the right hip, so you're slightly sideways. And then find your movement. And then come back to center over onto the left hip, a little bit sideways. Oh yeah. Like you're walking on the moon, huh? And then pause, come back to center. Down with those. Well done, you guys. Yeah. So yeah. Next we'll take like just a passive little stretch for the hip creases. So let's come down. You know, let's do this. You'll put a block under the pelvis and just rest for a second with the hips elevated. And Mary, I know you don't do this one. You could do something else. Yogi's choice. And just rest for a second. It's just a little passive extension through the hip. Now it's up to you. If you are happy here and want to just stay, do that. If you want to try something else, lift the hips a little to take the block out and then come back down. And we'll take the arms up by your head just to the floor behind you. lift the hips again, but not super duper high, just a little bit. And in your back body, think of moving the back of the pelvis away from the back ribs, just to create a little extra space. And within keeping that space, let the hips start to take a small side to side as you slowly, 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 eventually everything comes back down. And we're going to go again once you've landed. Once you've landed, just take a breath. And then when you're ready to come up again, go ahead and do, and if you want a little extra height, maybe you lift the heels, going up onto the balls of the feet, you make a little higher. Again, pull the back of the pelvis away from the back ribs, and tiny little side to side as you start to lower down. You can keep the heels up the whole time if that feels okay. I find it gives a little extra space. And then once you've landed, we'll release the arms, release the heels. Take your feet a little bit wider so the knees are still bent, and let both knees drop over to the right. So they'll go the same way. Take the arms up by your head, and without really going anywhere, think of reaching the left knee towards the front of the mat, and let the tailbone tuck under a little bit on the left side, in the middle. You'll feel hopefully a nice stretch on the front of the left hip, maybe a little on the side body. And then we'll come through center. Let the knees drop left. The feet, you'll rock on the feet, but you won't really move them in space. And then press the right knee towards the front of the mat. At the same time, let the tailbone tuck under a little bit and pull back through the arms. Now, your choice, you could repeat that again on each side, or if you want to do more of a quicker movement, you'll just go back and forth, side to side at your own pace. If you enjoy the long hold, just take one on each side. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll take one more here. Let's come back to middle. Are you guys, you're good, you're complete on both sides, yeah. And then we'll scoop the right foot under so the foot goes close to the left buttock. The right foot, yeah, and then the foot, it'll go on the floor. It doesn't have to touch the leg, it just, yeah, it's there. And then the right knee will drop towards the floor. For most of us, it won't touch the floor. If this feels iffy in your joints, you could slide a block under the right leg. Let's pick up the left leg and hold on to it, bring it in towards your chest. Yeah. And you can drop the right foot. Yeah, just let it relax. And even though we're holding the left leg, I'm guessing you'll be feeling this on the right side, yeah? Yeah. Now, where you're feeling it is just depending on where you're tight. Most of us, it'll be psoas here. Okay, to get out of this very, very gently, let's just come back to center for a second. Reset. And then now the left foot scoops under. So the foot goes close to the right tush. And then the right knee comes in, and you'll hold on. This side's way tight for me. Now, if picking up the leg is too much, is it spasming on you?
It's just really tight.
Yeah. You might try put a block under the leg. I'll show you how that it looks like this. And that might feel nicer. See if you like it. And it can be really anywhere.
Yeah.
Is that better? It's crazy how the two sides are so different.
Yeah.
I'll just hang out here for a little bit. James, do you have a tighter side?
Both.
They're both.
Both are tighter.
They're both tighter. I usually recommend, if you're doing a stretch, stay on the tighter side just for a little extra time, or do tight side, open side, and then tight side again. If you're doing it at home. In a group class, I'll try to be pretty even. Gently, delicately, let's undo. Back to center, yeah. And then from here, just to recalibrate after those asymmetrical positions, put your hands on the thighs close to the hip creases. Breathe in. And then as you exhale, press hands into the legs. Yeah. And then you could either do that a couple of times, a little press and release, or it might feel good just to hold the press for a little bit extra. Whatever you need is great. And our next official pose will be Shavasana, but if you need to do something else before that or set yourself up with props before that, please do. You guys who are here, I can bring you a prop if you need it. So yeah, so you just lay down and I'll sit because it's easier for me to talk. Sometimes Shavasana is like called the yoga dessert, but some folks like my husband, he doesn't get it. He thinks it's a complete waste of time. Yeah. So I like to think of Shavasana like you were baking a cake, and the baking process is the most of the class. And when you take the cake out of the oven, you can't just cut into it right away, it'll fall apart. So just the sitting at the end of the baking process is our Shavasana. Allow your body to absorb your practice here. Take a little scan of your body. If you notice any part of you that's still working or gripping, holding in a way that you don't need, ask that part of you to relax, let it go. Bring your attention back to your body. Start to take some small movements in your hands and your feet. A little stretch up through the arms. You guys are both propped up, just depending on what feels better to get up. You either just sit up through the middle or roll to one side first. And then we'll meet up in a seated position. Take hands to heart center. Just take this time to thank your body. Everything that it's able to do. Thank yourself for being here. Namaste.
Namaste.